What's good, y'all? Coben back with another video. This video is my summer vlog. We were out here, we were lit. Who says you can't have fun with sickle cell? You can't go out, you can't vacation, you can't do fun things. Not me. I don't say anything like that at all. You can do whatever you want. You can even be on a plane. But it's like, let's not confuse ourselves. We still need to keep safe. We still need to be prepared. Because that pressure, bruh, I was feeling it. I was feeling that pressure on that plane, but that footage is coming soon. I'm just excited to show you guys what I did this summer, and it also includes me taking a trip to Tennessee to see this doctor to see about me getting a bone marrow transplant. So yeah, without further ado, let's get this video started. So funny story how I got to go to Martha's Vineyards, right? So this friend who I'm in the same Bible study group with was planning a trip for the Bible study group, and they were going to Martha's Vineyard. I wasn't planning on going. I was just going to let them have fun. But my friend was just like, oh, we need more people to come, and we already booked the Airbnb, so we need a lot more people so that per person the cost would be lower. And I was like, okay, I'll come. How much is it? He was like $600. I was like, oh. He was like, it's actually $1,000, but I'm giving you a discount because you're a friend. And I was like, what? So I was bamboozled into going in the first place. I know y'all asking why we went to the church. Why didn't we get the church to pay for the trip? Maybe double dip from the tithe bucket to pay for it? The answer to that is because we are not from the same city. We don't go to the same church. The group is basically a bunch of people on the internet that love the Lord and come together because we love the Lord. And Martha's a gold digger. If you ain't got the money, you can't hang. You ain't in the rich people club. This vacation requires a certain tax bracket to be enjoyed fully. And granted, I am not in that tax bracket. I am not trying to stunt on people. But I just want to let y'all know what you want to get into. If you want to interact at Martha's Vineyard, you got to come correct. You got to have your money in order. People take out loans for this vacation. And $600 wasn't even the whole price that I eventually ended up paying. My friend wanted me to take $1,000 of spending money when we go to Martha's Vineyard. And so I brought the 1,000 just in case. But I ended up spending all of that 1,000 basically. Of course, my friend paid me back, but even still, just the thought of me spending $1,600 just for 2 days. I didn't even spend a whole 2 days. It was like a half of one day and then a third, like 2/3 of another day. All for it to not have a vineyard. Like Martha's Vineyard is just a name. It don't have a vineyard on the island, which I thought was the case because I was like, oh, I'm about to get free wine. I'm about to drink. You know, I'm not gonna get drunk, but I'm gonna get lit a little bit. And so it don't even got a vineyard. It just got a bunch of shops and stores and boutiques and stuff like that. So yeah, Martha's Vineyard was a vibe. I mean, a whole vibe. And I was not prepared because I didn't have the beach attire. I didn't have the aesthetic. I feel like the aesthetic would be like Tommy Hilfiger or Abercrombie and Fitch. You know, like that beach vibe, that nonchalant, rich vibe. But I was still having fun. And I will show you guys the videos and pictures from me in Martha's Vineyard. So enjoy. Excuse me, I need to sit down. I can't. Yeah. Feel like I'm on the metro again. yeah, needless to say, the trip to Martha's Vineyard was very good. If you ain't been to Martha's Vineyard, I highly suggest you go at least once. And at first, I thought when I first got to the island, I was thinking, oh, this is kind of overhyped. I didn't think it would be as good as I thought it would be. But my trip was very enriching, and it was very eye-opening for me because I never been to a island like except Galveston, honestly. And so there is a very different vibe, different culture, different aesthetic to vacationing in Martha's Vineyard versus Galveston. I'm showing Boston pictures because that's where I departed to come home from Texas, or to Texas. So yeah, that was a good trip, and the next trip is to Tennessee. The reason I went to Nashville was because of me going to get bone marrow transplant, and the people over at Vanderbilt University is said to be one of the best people in the country to do those things. And I'm going with them because back earlier in March or April, May, something like that, I was trying to be eligible to get gene therapy, but they denied me. And so the reason for me going to Nashville is to get the bone marrow transplant, because that's the second thing on the list of curative treatments for sickle cell, is not just the gene therapy, but bone marrow transplants. There's also stem cell transplants and then other stuff. But I went to Nashville to get a bone marrow transplant from Vanderbilt. So I misread the boarding pass. I'm supposed to go to gate 50. All the way in gate 5, so I got like a long ways to go.
One eternity later.
There was a few problems when I was on the plane. The first problem, my earphones died, so I was listening to the plane just, whistle and hum and all that stuff, and I just couldn't fall asleep. And then another thing, my eye and forehead just started to feel that pressure, and I knew that if it was gonna be continuous, then sickle cell might start to flare up. And so I was thankful that as soon as we landed, it started to go away. But that's one thing about flying, is you gotta be prepared, especially if you have sickle cell, to combat the pressure and the lack of oxygen. But yeah, after landing, I swiftly got my luggage and went on my way out the airport to go to the Vanderbilt Medical Center and see this doctor who is the world-renowned doctor doing these bone marrow transplants. So I can't tell you guys what I talked about to my doctor at the Vanderbilt clinic, because I'm making that a separate video. I'm explaining the whole process of bone marrow transplant and what all that means. So stay tuned for that. I did go to their children's hospital and I explored a little bit of their children's hospital. I did walk around the premises of the medical center over there. I went into the library because the medical center is attached to a university, or Vanderbilt University, I should say. The reason I was in the library was just to pass the time before my flight. And so it was a good passing of time experience. The day in general was very productive, very informative, and enlightening, engaging. So I have nothing else to say pertaining to the quality of the trip, but I will say that my trip to Vanderbilt and Nashville, Tennessee as a whole was very good. And if you ever decide to go to Nashville, I would suggest you do, because it is a very good experience to have. I know this is a bit rough for my first vlog, and I apologize for that. So if you guys want to have more vlogs of me out and doing things in the world, just let me know, and I will do my best to make sure to record when I'm outside. I definitely had a very eventful year. This channel has grown so much, and I appreciate every one of you for subscribing and following me and watching. The problem for me now is I want to make so much content that my physical health or my other priorities have gotten in the way of that, and it's very disheartening for me because I love this so much, more than I thought I would. And so if you can please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment, I would appreciate it. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.